We'll just wait for 2 more minutes. Then within an hour, we should be able to complete. Okay. Or maybe before that also. So in case if you guys have any plan or if you are busy with something, let us know in the group much earlier so that everyone can plan accordingly. Okay. You guys can hear me, right? Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just getting some data ready. Nothing much here. What happened? Okay, we will start. You guys can start the recording. Okay. Okay, so last class we discussed about transaction control. Okay, so we discussed about the transaction control transformation, how we can dynamically create the target flat files and all. So today we will discuss about one more transformation called normalizer. Okay, so normalizer transformation, again, one of the important transformation we use in certain cases. Okay, so it is basically used whenever we want to convert rows to multiple columns. Okay, so this particular normalizer transformation, hope I am audible, guys. I'm audible, right? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Sandesh.
Okay. Yeah, so normally we use this normalizer transformation whenever we want to convert rows to multiple columns. When I say convert rows to multiple columns, a simple example I can show here. So if you say this is my source table, okay, So this is the structure of the table here. So you guys can create one dummy table with the same structure. Okay. So if you see here the data in this table, so what it says is the customer number, customer name, and the location. And also it says out of these four banks, ICICI, HDFC, Citi, and HSBC, in which bank he has an account. If customer 111 is having accounts in any of these bank, it will be represented with value Y. Otherwise, it will be represented with value N. Okay, this is the way we have data in one of my source. And if you observe this, this doesn't look to be a um, what more convenient way of storing the data in a table. If we talk about normalizations and all, we have first normal form, second normal form, third, fourth, and all, right? So with respect to that, if I take this bank, so bank is an attribute, is one entity. So in this bank attribute, for the same bank attribute, I am using four columns here to store the same bank attribute. So normally, in order to normalize these tables, that is, if I want to convert these particular records, rows, into columns, something like that. If my target is something like this, okay, where I have a single attribute for bank and I have multiple records for the customers holding account in different bank. So this looks to be more normalized form of storing the data than this. Okay, so basically whenever we want to convert the rows, if you see the four highlighted ones, these are the rows here. I'm trying to convert the value of these rows into something called column here. Okay, so in such cases, whenever we want to convert rows to multiple columns or columns, we normally use this normalization transformation. Okay, so that is smart way of representing data in more organized manner. So if you feel the data whatever you are getting is not in an organized manner and you want to do it through Informatica, so I can use this normalizer transformation. So before we use this particular scenario, which is the real use case for normalization, I will take one simple example to make you understand how this normalizer transformation works. Then we'll come back to this particular scenario. Okay, so I have a source table. Select staff from department. Okay, and my target table is department target. So my department table source, this is my source. It has department number, name, and location. So my target table is, again, as of now, you can consider, sorry, you can consider only these three columns only. Ignore the other columns in this table. Okay, I want to load the data from my source, department number, name, and location, to the destination table. Okay, the same ports, one-to-one mapping again. But assume like I want to duplicate the records while loading. That is, for each department record, I want to load five records into my target. So I have one record here, department with department number 10. So in my Informatica, there is a requirement to duplicate the records and load it to target. Okay, so for every record, we will try to generate five records. Okay, so let's see how we can do it. So that is another case. In case if you uh, want to generate some duplicate records, we can use this normalizer. Okay, so with this example, it will be more clear like how this normalizer works actually. So let me take this simple example before going ahead. Okay, so if that is my case, so we can start. So I need my source and destination here. So let me check whether we have the source and target. So I have the department table, which is my source. Okay, but I don't have department underscore target in my target. So let me import it. Okay, it's a new table, so let me import it into my Informatica target. So this is my target table. So I will take this target into my thing. Okay, now in between my source and target, I will use a normalizer transformation. NRM is the naming convention we use for normalizer. I'll just say like create duplicates. Okay, so if you see here normalizer, again this normalizer transformation won't have any default ports. So now I will try to link the ports from my source qualifier to my normalizer. So if I'm trying to do this, you can see I'm getting an error at the bottom. You can see the error message highlighted in blue. Cannot copy a column to this transformation. That means we cannot directly copy the link the ports to my normalizer like we did till now for other transformations. I'm not able to link the ports from any transformation to normalizer. I cannot link it directly. Okay, that is the first point. So which I have told here. Okay, we cannot copy columns directly to normalizer transformation. So then how we can do it? So I'll open my normalizer. So I want to link these three ports, department number, name, and location to my normalizer. So how can we do it? We cannot directly link it. So I'll open my normalizer. We have a tab called normalizer here, and we have a ports. If you see the ports section, I can't edit anything. Okay. So now I'll go to my normalizer port tab. In the normalizer, I have an option to add new columns to this table. So I can add here. So I need three columns, which I need to link it from my source qualifier. Okay. And I can give the name for my ports, any meaningful name. So I will give the same name what we have in our source. If you want, you can change it also, but data type should be same. Okay, so I have created the ports. The next thing is we'll see what are occurs and all. Data type, I need to assign data type to these ports. If I click on data type port tab, I see only there are three types of data types in my normalizer. So there are so many data types in Informatica, but when it comes to normalizer, we have only three data types, that is n string, number, and string. Okay, only three data types: number, string, and n string. So I need to use any one of these three only. So department number, it was a decimal in my source qualifier, so I can use a number here. Department name and location were string, so I will use the string. Okay, done. So one more point to see is, as I create columns in my normalizer, if I go back to ports, it will create me for every column I create in normalizer tab. It creates me two ports here. One is the input port. It will be named with the column name what I have given in normalizer underscore in, and it is marked as input, and there will be a corresponding output port also. Okay, for every port I create in my normalizer, in the port section, it will create me corresponding input and corresponding output port. Okay, this is the second thing. Now I'll say apply. So again here I can't make any changes in my port section. If I want to delete any port, I can do it in my normalizer, or if I want to add any additional ports, I can do it here. I'll say apply. Okay, so now if you see, I added three ports, but it has created me three inputs and three outputs. So I can link from my source qualifier, I can link only to the input ports. We know that we can't link to output, so I link it to my corresponding input ports, and from output port I will link it to my target. So I can't link the input ports here again, so I can link only the output ports. I link it, done. So as of now I'm not making any further changes. So I have just created the, since I can't link the port directly from my any transformation to normalizer, I manually created those ports in my normalizer transformation and gave a relevant data type. So for each port created in the normalizer tab, it will create me input and output ports. I have linked them accordingly. Okay, so I'll just save this and we'll try to run this mapping and see what happens. Okay, I'll refresh. Since these are new source and target, I'll just check the connection strings. They are there. In the target, I'll just truncate the data and load it. I'll save it. Let me run the workflow. So my workflow is completed, succeeded. So if I see source, it took 5 records and loaded 5 records. So it is doing nothing as of now. So just one-to-one mapping. It took the data from the source and loaded to my target. Okay. Now, what was my requirement? I want to generate duplicates for every record I get it from source. I want to generate 5 records for each department. That is duplicates. So what I will do for that is, if I go back to my normalizer in the ports tab, okay, in the properties tab we have something called reset and restart, and these are still disabled for me. We'll see it when it will be enabled. So it is disabled. If I go to my normalizer, we have something called as occurs here. Okay, so on which particular attribute I want to generate the duplicates, I mean the primary key, that is on department number. Department number is something, a primary key column, and on which I want to generate duplicates. For every department number I want to generate the duplicates. So what I'll do, on department number I will increase this occurs. So right now in my port, for every port we have one input, one output. When I increase the occurs to 1, okay, I'll go back to my ports. There is no change. Now I'll make it 2, occurs as 2, done. So now if I go back to my ports, what happens is, on the port on which I have increased the occurs, based on the number of occurs, it will create me those many input ports. For department number, it will create me those many output ports.
Sandesh, your voice is gone.
Network issue, since it's raining today also. Let me know guys once you are able to see the screen. I'm sharing it. So
Yes.
can you guys see my screen? Yeah, okay, thanks. So I have made the department number column occurs to 5. As I increase the occurs value, those many input ports will be created for that particular port. I have made the department number occurs as 5. So for that particular department number, it has created me 5 input ports, but again the output port will still be 1. In addition to that, it creates me 2 more ports, that is called as gk underscore department number, gcid underscore department number. So these 2 ports will be created as soon as I give occurs value for any of the port. For that particular port, it will create me GK number and GCID. So I again moved it to 0. If I go back, we don't have any additional ports here. So when I make it 1, so I don't see any changes. When I make it 2, as soon as I make it 2, it creates me those many input ports, and also in addition it will create me GK number and GCID number for that particular port. So we'll see what it is. As of now, I'll make it 5 here. Okay, so it has created me 5 input ports. In addition, GK and GCID port for that particular port. I'll say apply, I'll say okay. So if I go back to my page, so when we add occurs value that is greater than 1 for any port, what it does, we get 2 default ports, okay, and we get those many input ports. So the 2 default ports we get is, one is the GK and another one is the GCID. We'll see what are these, what values these ports hold, what is the difference and all. So but as of now, whenever I create give a occurs value greater than 1 for any port, it does 2 things for me. One is it will create those many input ports for that particular port. In addition to that, it creates me 2 default port, one called as GK and another one is GCID. GK stands for generated key and GCID stands for generated column ID. So we'll see what it is. Now coming back, so I gave occurs as 5 here. It created me 5 department number input ports. I will link the same department number to all these input ports here from my source. Okay, done. I will save this. Then I will also link this GK number and GCID number to my target to check what this columns hold, what these ports hold, what kind of value it holds. Okay, I have just created columns for that particular reason here with data type number. I will just save it. I'll go back to my session, refresh, save and rerun. So now if you see, source has 5 records, whereas my target has 25 records. So if I go and check my target table, so for every record, it has created me 5 duplicate records. So this is how I can generate the duplicates in my Informatica using normalizer. What it how it generated the duplicates is, see this department name, I link to the first department number underscore 1. So for this port and remaining yeah, so for that port and the remaining input ports, it will create me 1 record. Then it will take the second input. For this, it will create me another 1 input record. Like that, for each input port and the other ports, it will keep on creating the duplicate records. Okay, that's why when I give the occurs, it creates me those many input ports for that particular port. Second thing, what is this GK and GCID? So if I go and check the values here, GK number, GK I said generated key and GCID is generated column ID. So GK number, if you see, it is nothing but the sequence. If I go here in the GK, you can see the sequence here. So GK department number, the last tab is called sequence. 1 second. Yeah. So if I come to my normalizer, in the port section, if I see this GK department number port, it has the sequence as 1. That means it will start with the sequence. It will generate me the sequences. If you go back to the table and see the values of this GK number, So it is purely the sequences from 1 to 20, 25. From 1 to 25 for all the records, it has created me the sequence. Then coming to GCID number, if you observe it, GCID number for department 10, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the next set of data, that is for the next department, it again starts with number, initial number 1. So that means GCID will generate the sequences per group wise. Group wise, it will generate me the sequence. Whereas GK number, it is just a sequence for all the records. Okay, that is the difference between GK number and GCID. GCID gives me the sequences group wise. For the same set of records, it will give me the sequences. Next, for the next set of records, it will again start from the initial value. Whereas GK number, it just gives the sequences for the records. That is the difference between GK and GCID. GK increases sequence value for each input port. Okay, GK increases the sequence value for each input port, whereas GCID, it generates sequences for each set of multiple occurring column. Okay, for each set, it will generate me the sequences. Okay, that is the difference between GK and GCID. And this is how we can generate sequences in Informatica using the normalizer transformation. Okay, things to remember here is, in normalizer transformation, I cannot link the ports directly. I have to create those ports manually in my normalizer, and normalizer has only 3 kinds of data types: number, string, and end string. I have to map relevant um, um, I have to map the relevant data types there. Then based on the number of occurs value I provide to the input port, for to any port, it will create me those many input ports. And also in addition, it will create me the sequences for each input port. Okay, sorry. So yeah, so this is the general way of using the normalizer transformation. Okay, if you're clear with this idea, we'll go back to our real use case of using a normalizer transformation to convert rows to columns. Okay, we'll use this scenario and try to convert the rows to columns. Are you guys with me? So can we proceed further? Any doubts? Let me know here. Hello? Any doubts, guys? Yes, no?
No.
Hello? Am I audible, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine for me.
Okay, okay. So since there is some network issue at my end, so I just need a confirmation whether I'm audible or not. Thanks. Cool. So we'll proceed further. So we'll take this scenario. So we'll try to convert these rows to columns now. So these are again new source and targets for me. So I have to import them first. So let me do that quickly. So import from database. You guys can create similar dummy tables, insert some dummy values and practice. Okay. What was the table name? It was customer info source, I guess. Yeah, customer info source. Okay. So this is my source. Similarly, I'll create my target. Ashwath, we might need to complete this scenario 10 minutes. So I prefer you to stay back at least to complete this particular thing. Okay. Yeah. So we'll take this source and this is my target. Okay. So now in between the source and my target, I will use a normalizer. As requirement is to change this rows to columns, I can do it using the normalizer. So I use this normalizer transformation. So now I can't link the ports from my source to normalizer. So how many ports I have to create in my normalizer? How can I get that? So since I need 4 ports in my target, the same 4 ports I'll create in my normalizer transformation now. Customer number, name, location, and bank. So those 4 ports I'll create in my normalizer. So I'll give the relevant data types for these ports. I'll say apply. I'll say okay. Okay. So for each port, it has created me one input and output. Now, on which port I need to provide the occurrence? Can you guys guess it? Like on which port out of these 4 ports in my normalizer I have to give the occurrences so that it will create me multiple input ports?
Customer number will be?
No. Why customer number? Okay. Just see this source data and then check the normalizer. You will get an idea. So I can link the customer number to this customer number. Done. I can link the customer name to customer name. I can link the location to location. I'm left with 4 ports in my source qualifier for bank, and I have only a single port in my normalizer for bank. So on which port I can create occurs in my normalizer so that I'll get multiple input ports? Sorry, guys, on which port?
Bank?
Right. Obviously, it should be bank, right? So when I create a bank, um, so how many 4 uh, ports are there from my source, which is of bank attribute? So if I say the bank as 4 here, bank for bank port, if I say the occurs as 4, it will create me 4 input ports for the bank, and also it will create me GK bank and GCID bank. I'll say apply, I'll say okay. See now I can link each of these bank attributes to my bank here, right? So depending on my target, what I need to achieve out of my normalizer, I will create those many ports in the normalizer tab. Depending on my source, how I need to link the ports to my normalizer, based on that I will select the port for my occurrence. Okay. So now next what I'll do, so if I just link it as it is, customer number, customer name, location, and bank. Okay, I'll save this. I'll refresh my session. I'll save my workflow and I'll rerun it. It has completed. If I go and check my target, so target was like, I want something like this. Okay, so this is what expected. But if I go and check my target now, how it is coming. So what it has done, where is my source? See it. Okay, I have not used the truncate option. Let me remove it. It has the word. Okay. So I have given you guys the recording access. You guys can start recording. Okay. So where were we? Yeah. So I didn't truncate the table before loading. So it was showing me old records also. So I'll just truncate the tables here. I'll use the truncate option in my session. And I will rerun my workflow. So it's completed now. So it has taken 3 records from my source and it has given me 12 records in my target. Since I gave the occurs as 4, for every record it has created me 4 records. If I go to target table and check the data, see this is how I'm getting the data here. Okay, this is how I'm getting the data. So what I need is, so this is still not clear for me. Wherever YYNN is there, I need to replace it with the bank names. Okay, that change I have to still do it. Okay, so what I'll do for that is I'll use a expression transformation between my normalizer and target. So in order to achieve my requirement, what are the relevant transformations I need to use it. So I'll use an expression now after my normalizer. I will take all the output ports from my normalizer to my expression, including the GK bank and GCID bank. Why? Because I'll tell you. So now if this is my data, if I show this, so this was my output of the normalizer transformation. Okay, so I have taken the data from my output table and I'm showing it in my Excel. So this is how my data was looking in my what output of the normalizer was. This is how the output of normalizer was looking, which we directly map to target. Now what I am doing is this data, with this data I am taking GK bank and GCID bank also to my expression. So what these ports will hold now. So if I go back, so these ports will hold, that is I know GK will be something sequences. So it will hold the sequence something like this. 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. GCID number sequence for that particular group, something like this, right? This is how the GCID number will be generated. Now, if you see my source data, this was my source. So the column names were HSBC and Citi. Okay, so if you see the first Y here is for ICICI Bank, the next Y is here for HSBC, next to are HSBC and Citi. So by seeing the GCID number, I can tell wherever GCID number is equals to 1, that is for ICICI, that is these records are ICICI. Why I can say if GCID number equals to 1, it is ICICI, because I know for every group GCID number will be a sequence restricted to that particular group only. Again, for the new group, it will start from initial value 1. So using this GCID number, I will try to identify what kind of bank it is. That's why I have taken this GCID number into my expression transformation. Okay, now one second. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll create one port in my expression transformation. I will make it as a variable port. I will say it as v underscore bank name. Okay, and here I will write the code. I will use the decode function. On which port I will do a search is on this GCID. I'm saying decode, that is if GCID value is 1, then assign value as ICICI. If GCID value is 2, assign value to this variable port as HDFC. If GCID value is 3, assign value as HSBC. And if GCID is 4, assign value as Citi. Because I know whenever the GCID number is 1, it will be Citi 1, ICICI only. 2 means HDFC, 3 means HSBC, 4 means Citi. Because it gives sequences specific to the group. Again, for the next group, it will start from the initial value. Okay, then I will create one more port. O bank name, I will name it as, I'll make it as an output port, and I will assign the value of this variable port to the output port. It's valid. Even my decode function, hope it's valid. Yeah, done. So now instead of linking this bank to my target, which I did earlier, so this bank port was having me the values as YN. So instead of that, I will link this O bank name to bank here. I will save this. I'll refresh my mapping and rerun. So my target earlier was having this bank column with NY. Now after rerunning, okay, my mapping is succeeded. If I check my table, so I can see the values of the banks. Okay, hope this is clear. Then coming to the next last point in this. What am I supposed to do? Here I have to show, if you see, for each customer, it is showing me for all the 4 banks, right? But this is not what I want actually. I want to show the customer records only where he is holding a account in a bank. So the customer 111 is holding account in bank ICICI and HDFC. So I need to show only 2 records for him. One for ICICI, one for HDFC. Like similarly, customer 222 is holding account in HSBC and Citibank. So I want to show is data for only those particular records. So I want to discard the records where customer is not holding the bank accounts. So if I want to do that, what I'll do again, in between my expression and target, so I need to filter out the unwanted records now. Or how can I do it? So I know to filter out records, I can use the filter transformation. I'll use this filter. So I'll take the records from my expression to filter. In my filter, I'll say, I know this bank port holds the value YN and all. So I know only value Y is where the customer is holding the bank account. So I'll say bank equals to Y here in my filter condition. I'll say validate, it's correct. I will say apply, I will say okay. So it will remove the filter out the records where bank is not equals to Y. Then I will link my ports here. From my filter, I will link it to my target. I'll save it. I'll refresh my mapping. I will rerun it. Okay, so now you see out of 3 records, so 6 records only loaded. If I go and check the target table data, it has only the customers who details who are holding the accounts in their bank. So customer 111 was holding the account in bank ICICI HDFC. So we see 2 records for him. One is for ICICI HDFC. Customer 2 was holding bank in Citi and HSBC. I see for HSBC and Citi. 3 was holding in ICICI, HSBC here. So same thing. Okay. So like this, based on my requirement, I can go on using my transformations. Okay. So with normalizer, I was able to duplicate the records. That is, I was able to convert the rows to columns. Then using expression, instead of populating bank column with YN and all, I was able to format it to the bank name. Then using filter, I was able to remove the unwanted records. Okay. Like this, whenever you get a requirement based on your okay. So like this, whenever you get a requirement based on your requirement, you will go on building your mapping using different set of transformations. Okay. So this is normalizer transformation. The last point to discuss in this normalizer is reverse of normalizer. If I want to achieve the reverse case of this, if my source is something like this, okay, and I want to generate the target like this, that is, I want to convert the columns to rows. Now I want to convert this particular column to rows. Then how can I do it? Okay, that is reverse of normalization. So normally they will ask you in interviews also. So first they will ask you, I want to convert rows to multiple columns. How can you do it? We will say using normalizer. Okay, they might ask you what is GK number, GCID number and all. Then they will ask you, if I want to achieve reverse of normalizer, how can I do it? So we don't have a specific transformation in Informatica to achieve reverse of normalization, that is denormalization. So in order to achieve denormalization, we can do it with using expression transformation and aggregator transformation. Okay. So denormalization, we can achieve denormalization in Informatica using expression and aggregator. So we'll just quickly see this and we'll end up for today. So that will complete the normalization transformation. So now my source will be this one, customer info target, and my target will be this customer info source. Okay. So I can't copy the target to source, but clear all. I can copy the source to target. This is my source here. This has to be used as target now. So what I'll do, I'll go to target analyzer and I'll copy this source to the target analyzer. So it will come in my target. This is how I can copy, but vice versa is not possible. So I'll manually I'll go and import the source now. That is my target table. Okay. So I have my source and target ready. So source is this customer info target, where I have the data in this format now, the one which we have just loaded. Target will be my source one. Okay. As I told, I want to convert the columns into rows now. So what I'll do is I'll use a expression transformation. I'll take all the source to my expression. If you see, compare the ports in my expression and the target, you will see that we have customer number, customer name, location. In expression, I have one port for bank, and in target, I have 4 ports for bank. So it shows me that I need to create those many ports so that I can link it to my target. Let me go ahead and create those ports in my expression transformation. I'll make them as output ports. I'll say ICICI Bank. Similarly, I'll create ports for other banks. Okay. So what condition I'll say is here. So what I want actually in my target, I need, instead of values ICICI, HDFC and all, I need something called YN. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll add a condition. If bank equals to if bank equals to ICICI, I will pass yes, Y, else I will pass N. So that I'm assigning to the ICICI Bank. Same thing I'll do it for other banks also. So why I did this? What made me to create these 4 ports? Because I have those 4 ports in my target. And what made me to add this logic? Because in my target, I need something called Y and N and not the bank names. That's why I added this logic. Okay. So what will be the output of my expression? So this is my expression now. This was my expression transformation. In this expression transformation, I have added the ports, additional ports like added these many output ports in my expression transformation. I'm saying if ICICI, if bank, this is my bank port. I think it got disconnected. Just a minute. Shit. Let me know, guys, once you are able to see the screen. I am sharing now. Are you able to see the screen, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So here, this is my bank port. So what I'm saying, if bank value is equals to ICICI, I'm saying for this logic is if bank equals to ICICI, make it as Y. So it will be Y here. And for all other ports, it will be N. Because for this, I'm saying if bank equals to HDFC, but it is ICICI for the first record, so it will be null. Similarly, I'll get values like this in my expression transformation. Clear? This is what my expression transformation logic is doing. Now this, if you say this, what I have in my expression and check the required output in my table, so it looks almost similar. Only difference is for each customer I'm having two records, I need to make it as one. That is the only difference now. So for that I will use a aggregator.
Sandesh, I think I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, can you please go back to source table?
Excel.
Source table, yeah.
This
Here
is my
you can
source
see,
now.
No. The other way around.
Yeah.
Here you can see for the user Ramesh, he owns account in two banks.
User Ramesh, yes.
Yeah, I think the logic that we are applying now, will that be applicable to this?
Yeah, See, that's what, no? What I'm trying to do is, in my expression transformation, based on the banks, I'm giving this value yn.
Mm-hmm.
If you see where you want Ramesh, right? Ramesh is having, for example, Ramesh is holding account in Citi and HSBC.
Yeah.
I see Ramesh here is holding HSBC, and in another record he is holding a bank in Citi. Now these two records I need to club it into one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, understood.
Sorry guys, I got disconnected again. Yeah, can you what I was saying is, you guys can hear me,
it's
right?
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ramesh, I have two records. In one record he is belonging to HSBC, in another record he is belonging to Citi. So now I need to club these two records into one, and I need to ensure that HSBC is Y and Citi is also Y. That's what I have to do. This is just still the output of my expression transformation. With expression transformation logic, I am able to achieve this.
Okay.
Okay. Now I need to club these two records into one. I need to club customers also into one. Okay. So that customer 111 is having account in ICICI and HDFC. They are in separate records. I need to make it one. So for that, what I can do, I have to group them. So for grouping, we have a aggregator transformation. I'll use aggregator. I will take all the ports from my expression to aggregator. In the aggregator, I will group by the customer number, customer name, location, ports. That is these three ports. I know for the records, for customer with same record, these three ports are same here. Okay, so I'm grouping on these three ports: customer number, name, and location. Then apart from that, I need values also for these ports, so I need them in one. So what I will be doing is, I will create an additional port called here. In my aggregator, I'll create 4 more additional ports for each bank. I'll make them as output ports here again. Okay, here I'll say max of ICICI Bank. For ICICI Bank port, max of HDFC, max of Citibank. I'll say apply OK. So what I'm trying to do here is, okay, so now I'm grouping on these three values. So this will become, these two columns will become into one. Okay, so how I am taking the next values is, if you see, if I take that, the additional ports what I am creating in my aggregator, HSBC and Citi. So these two will be clubbed into one. So these values come here. Then I'm saying ICICI Bank is max of these two. So since I'm grouping by these two these two these two records. In these two records, it will try to get the max of this, which is max. If I take this is a string here, so again max is first n comes then y, so it will take y here. Okay, then in these two, which is max? Again y, so it will take y here. In these two, nn is there, which is max, n only, so it will add n. Then city also, it will add n only. So this is what I need in my output, YYNN, so that I'll get. Similarly, the next two records with employee 222. So these two we are grouping into one, and then we are trying to get the max of them. NN is N, again NN is N, YN is Y, YN is Y. So similarly like this, we'll get the data. So this one, after this aggregator, I will link it to my target. Customer number, customer name, location, and I will use the ports which I created in my aggregator here. ICICI, HDFC, Citi, and HSBC. Okay, save it. It's valid. Arrange all iconic. Then I'll go refresh and start my workflow. It's running. So now it took 6 records from my source and it has converted me into 3. The reverse case. So now if I check my target, this one is my target. Where is it? Okay. Again, I need to truncate the data before loading. Since it's a new table, I had it. I need to just truncate it. It was holding the old data also, so I just truncated. Running it now. If I go and check my source table, see, this is my data. So Rajesh, customer 111, was holding bank in ICICI HDFC. So for ICICI HDFC, it's yes. For other two, it is ENN. Like that. Ramesh was holding in HSBC City. For HSBC and City, it is YY. And for the other two, ENN. Rajesh was holding bank in ICICI and City. So it is Y. So like this, I can convert back columns to rows. So we don't have a specific transformation in Informatica to convert for denormalization, that is converting columns to rows, so that we can achieve it with the combination of expression and aggregator. Okay, this thing they will just ask you in interviews, but I showed you with an example so that in real time cases you might get some real time in projects and all some use cases to achieve this, converting columns to rows or rows to columns, so that it will be helpful for you. Okay, any doubts here? So what best thing you guys need to do is, when you practice, as I am showing the output of each transformation in an Excel, try to practice in this way, so then you will get to know how the data is flowing in each of the ports. Again, you can use a debugger also, as I showed you that day. With debugger also you will be able to see for each record how the data is getting into each of the transformations. Okay, here also you can see, so customer number, see in expression transformation how I am getting the data YNNN, the way I showed you here, YNNN, right, for the first record. Then if I press F10, it will go to the second record. Once all these records are processed, then they will go to my aggregator. See here how we are getting in aggregator. I have this OICCI, OISDFC created. So how we are getting the values, how they got grouped into. Done. So I see only 3 records in my aggregator, then they flow into my target. So you can use the debugger mode also to see how for each record the data is flowing in each transformation. And another best way is creating this Excel. Try how you want the data. So based on that, you will keep on adding your transformations and developing your code. Okay, based on the code, how you will see that data is, you can something capture it in your Excel, or you can check it in your debugger mode also. Okay, any doubts here? Guys, this is about the normalizer transformation. Okay, so normalizer and denormalizer, both reverse of normalization. We have 3 more minutes left. Let me know if you guys have any queries. Tomorrow we'll try to see about Java, SQL, and stored procedure transformations.
Okay.
Any queries, guys? Let me know.
I got to run. I think I'm fine with this. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, you are already late. Sorry for that.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Guys, anyone else has any queries? I think Jai is trying to connect now. We are almost done. Okay, guys, any queries? Let me know. Otherwise, we are good to end for today. We'll connect tomorrow again.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks. Bye.